Well, hello there everybody. It is January 28th, 2023. I am back in Louisiana. It is 7:45 p.m. Had to leave HiveLifeville. I think they call it Sevierville. I call it HiveLifeville. And it is for now anyway. And left this morning early. Had a commitment tonight. Had to be somewhere at 6 p.m. So we drove out early this morning. Just got back from my commitment. My stool's falling apart, by the way. And I said I wasn't going to make a video, and I'm really not. I'm making a just a summary of some takeaways. Greg Burns, Nature's Image Farms, had his podcast going. I had the honor of being on there. That was a funny story how that he kept calling me back there and then kept throwing me out. No, really. No, but anyhow, and he asked me what my takeaway was, and it threw me off guard. I explained a lot of stuff about what I thought about HiveLife and all that, but then he asked me what my takeaway was, and it threw me off. I don't think I answered well. I don't know what I said at that last part, but I wanted to do a takeaway video really quick, and then I'm going to also roll through some photos I took, just of people and members, participants, whatever you want to call it. And the main reason I really wanted to do this was out of a heart of gratitude and thanks to all the viewers, whether you were there or not. To all you viewers, this ride has been phenomenal for me. This did not start out as this at all. This did not start out as making the videos I make in the way I'm making them. It started out as a one end of the season to the other, just to show people that came to me at the market and said they wanted bees. I wanted to show them how miserable it could be, how wonderful it could be, how much testing it did for you. It tested you, how much endurance it took, how much flexibility, adaptability, and all that it took. Not how to, as you know me, and that all came out in another video. That is my trademark, I guess, my brand. But it was more of just the whole attitude of, I just want bees. And I encourage that at the market. I would encourage it. It's a great hobby. It's a hobby that engages you and you engage it, and it's a learning, and it's always ever growing. And so, yeah, I encourage it. But I want them to see, look, it's not that easy. And that's how it started. And now it's this. It was so humbling at HiveLife for all of you that were there. They came up to me and thanked me. It's humbling when you guys that weren't able to come thank me and tell me you enjoy my videos, and even are critical sometimes. It's humbling. Some couldn't make it. I understand that. Finances, work, all kinds of different reasons. Some may just not want to go. It's not their thing. But I tell you what, that conference is like no other. It is like no other. And here are some of my takeaways to this thing. Because I made a live just to show those that weren't able to come what we were doing, what was going on, just to give you an idea, because you may not be able to get there. And I wanted you to see what we were seeing. And so at a lunch break, I did that. And but I wanted to give everybody my takeaway of what this was. Y'all got a video from me last year, so I did that live for that reason. I'm doing this just to give you a takeaway. It might be choppy because I'm getting my thoughts together, and I may have to, edit in and edit out as I think my thoughts through. Because I thought about this all the way on this 9-hour drive. This conference was incredible. It to me was almost like a family reunion because we get to know so many people. Now this is only my second one. I didn't go to the first one. And they knew it was going to grow then. And last year everybody said when we went it was going to grow. And wow, did it. I think of Tom and Melissa when I met them. I met them last year in the Lodge cast iron store. And they said, hey, don't you make YouTube, aren't you, Mike? And, that was kind of overwhelming to me. But, you kind of get to know them during that conference. You get to talking to them, see what their business is like, see what he does for a living, and what is she doing. And, Van caught me outside the restaurant. He and his wife coming out of the restaurant, and I meet them. They were the second ones I met there that night. And I remember them now, And Van and I actually text regularly about what's going on with our honey, and he's wanting to come here and help. And, if I'm ever through there, I'd love to go see his operation. And, but those are the kind of things. I think of all the different people. Russell Koopman, who's always been a commenter. I see him up there. I meet him last year. And just the different people. And I'm not going to try and name names. I forget so many people. Met so many folks that, like Melanie Cruz. She knows everybody. Melanie and Dennis. I see her this year. And I see her. And while we only visited a few times last year, we've commented back and forth. She sent me stuff, I've sent her stuff, and we've come to know each other in that way. And this is what makes this conference different. I see her walking through that trailer, and I'm like, hey, Melanie, you're holding up the trailer. And, you know, we come out and give each other a big hug, and Dennis and I shake hands, and like we've known each other forever. And so it's a conference like, yeah, we get that at state conferences. There's plenty. I knew at the Louisiana one, not last year, but a couple years ago when we had the one prior to the 2-year event. But it's just different because now you're seeing people that are interacting with you daily through YouTube. And I always said this was a YouTube conference, but not a creator YouTube conference. A YouTube conference that was founded by a YouTube creator and disseminated that way through viewers. And the viewers all showed up. And this conference, it really, truly is something you got to experience to understand what I'm saying, really. And I know that you guys that went would understand it. But I'm seeing these people from last year, and I'm good with faces, not with names all the time, but most of the names I still knew, and those are the people I remember because we correspond, and viewers I haven't met that I see comments, and there they are. You missed some of those you met last year. Greg Branch, I think about him. He wasn't there, you know. A couple others. It's just strange, you know. And then you meet the commenters or the people you've been keeping in touch with throughout the years. Of course, the stream team, which we keep in touch quite regularly. These are folks you've been knowing, and now you get to meet up with them. New ones you see that comment. Max Yoder, I've seen him. You know, I've seen him comment so many times. Max, if you're watching, so great to meet you. And it was so great to meet so many people. I say that from the bottom of my heart. It really was great to just talk and meet folks. And so the thing about the conference is that's one of the big takeaways is it's almost like a family reunion. It's not something, and I've been to other beekeeping conferences. I've been to a lot of beekeeping classes where people that we all know each other have met. I've been to beekeeping meetings. I've been to a big conference with my other side business. You know, I've been to that conference in Duluth year after year while they were having it. And it's close and it's people you see again, but it's just different. It's just different. And so the neat thing about this conference, that's one takeaway, is it's like a family reunion almost. We got everything from the person wanting hives to the person with 3 to the person with 20 to 40 to 80, 150, 500. There was a speaker there with 4,000. And yet we have people, you know, that they, you know, came in. When I talked to him on the phone a couple times, both times that I talked to him in recent months were, the thing that came out of him was he wanted to see growth, innovation, not the status quo. Let's get together. Let's get everybody's ideas together. Let's let everybody count. And from the biggest to the smallest with beekeeping. And that's what you see there. You see them all. Nobody's unwelcome. I'll mention a time at a conference that we had where I was looked down upon by a commercial beekeeper because I was looking at a silly tool in their eyes that some hobbyists would use. Well, that's right. I would use it, and I liked it. And I didn't expect a reaction like that from them. This is not what that is there. Maybe there were some there that were like that, but I sure didn't see them. And they got these heavy hitters speaking. And you got the Bob Benny speaking, and Ian Stepler, and Richard Noel. And you guys might say, well, wow, yeah, but they're YouTubers too. So, I mean, well, what about Chris Werner with 4,000 hives? He's not a YouTuber. He was coming in there speaking to us, you know. Nobody's above anybody in it. And that's what makes it so special. It feels like a family atmosphere. Of course, the vendor show was probably the largest in North America, I could imagine. It's got to be about the largest floor, at least in the United States, for the vendors. But it's just something about a takeaway from that was we were all one. You really feel it there. Like you really feel the unity and the oneness there. And I'm saying that after so many people coming up and talking to me, sure. Okay, I get that. I probably feel it more than somebody else that doesn't know anybody there. But goodness gracious, get to know them because everybody's welcoming. Everybody will talk. I'm a talker. You know, I'm going to be long-winded on this. But I'll walk up next to somebody and just go to talking. And you feel like you can do that there. So there's great sessions, great teachings, great speakers, great family atmosphere, awesome vendors. And here's something I didn't hear a lot talked about was a scholarship program. What about that? We're looking at, you know, I know Natalie was there from day one, the first one, but then last year we sponsored a couple more, okay? And then this year, you should have seen the group picture of them. I don't even know how many there were. I bet it had to be at least 30, I think. I don't know. I don't know the number. But all these young people in red shirts that are aspiring to be a part of this thing. And I know you have scholarships. I'm not knocking any other conferences. I'm not. But what I'm saying is this one's different than anything I've ever been part of. And that's my biggest takeaway from this, was that we could all be one. It was a great time. People hate to leave. You know, everybody's shaking hands, hugging necks. And it's like, I don't know, man. It's just something else. I'm so humbled by the people that came up to me and talked to me and liked my videos. And I told so many of them, I'm just winging it. Those are the relationships that are being built. And I got places that stay all over the United States. I've had people offer if I'm ever there. So I guess that's my takeaway, is to see the innovation, you know, the innovation, the equipment, the personalities, the teachings, everything coming together where everybody is just one group. And it's not splintered. And maybe there were a few splinters here and there. Well, they probably won't come back then. Okay, fine. You know, I hate that, but it is turning into something that is amazing. And it's great to see it. I don't know if it can get bigger. I don't know if it'll plateau. If it plateaus, it'd be just fine too, because it's huge. I don't know what'll happen with it and how it's going and what the plans are. But I tell you what, the takeaway for me was there's nothing like it as far as that goes. You wonder what we're saying if you haven't been. The only way to really feel that is to go. I always say, behind my church meetings, behind my church family, and going and meeting each week with them in each ministry opportunity we have, that beekeepers are my next most favorite time to meet. And that reinforces it right there. So humbled. Oh my goodness. And so many people pleased, you know, and telling me, thanks for sharing my faith. My faith in the Lord Jesus Christ as my Savior, and my faith in God. And, you know, that was a blessing to me. That uplifted me. I told so many people this too. You all out there, whether you win or not, you all are what keeps me going. I said year 2, I fulfilled everything I could fulfill. I was probably going to knock it down and, you know, thinking about backing off. The comments flowed in and said, don't do it, Mike. I said, okay. Well, it's still in the back of my mind, to be honest with you. It really was. Because I'm like, well, they're just commenting. But then when faces were put with comments at the HiveLife last year and told me not to, it changed my whole thought process on what I'm doing. That again, I told everybody, you're the reason I'm doing it. Thanks. You guys keep us going. You keep us going. You really, really do. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for the support of this channel, for the support I got at HiveLife, for those of you that didn't go, the support you give me and give all of us. You know, it's an amazing ride. It really is. And Greg always says it, what about these bugs in a box? They're doing more than just providing honey and a little small side gig for me, a livelihood for others maybe. They're doing more than just therapeutics in the yard by yourself sometimes when you need that. They're doing more than that. They're bringing a community, like Bruce Jenny says, a movement together that is not the status quo. And I think sometimes the big organizations with all the big time folks, they kind of want to keep us in the ideas where the knowledge comes from the top only, and that's how it's going to be. Same with the vendors. You heard in my live, if you listen to it, those are the big ones. I'm not big on them anymore. They've changed. But they wanted to keep it that way. And what HiveLife is doing is allowing it to grow. Everybody's welcome. It's allowing it to grow and to blossom, and for ideas to come bubbling up from the bottom as well as coming down from the top, and information shared like this. I've heard so many guys that started years ago that talked about beekeeping and how they couldn't get any information. Nobody would give them anything, especially the older, old school guys. The old school guys would have their one favorite guy, and there's plenty of them did. I know Gus Mitchell talks a lot about his mentor, who was an older beekeeper, shared everything with him, taught him well, because Gus is a wealth of knowledge, man. I like to listen to his stuff. He's such a wealth of knowledge. But like the beekeeper that my friend introduced me to and that he learned from, 50-year beekeeper. I'm not saying all of them were like that, but I heard so many stories. And the first club meeting I went to was so cold, it stayed cold. I got questions answered, but it was so random and so cold, and you'd sit next to somebody that wouldn't say a word to you. But we go to Mr. Ed's, where Mr. Julian first, that was his meeting, and Mr. Ed took it over. Everybody always helped each other. Oh man, where are you from? Oh, Slidell? Hey, he's from Slidell. He could, yeah, I'll help you. I'll come over and help you set up. Well, HiveLife is like a souped up version of that. And it's allowing the old thing of suppressing all the knowledge. It's kind of purging it out. The status quo is crumbling and we're breaking new ground. And I say we because it is we. Cayman does a fantastic and phenomenal job. He started this thing. It's his baby. And we're all joining into it and trying to help him grow it. And I really feel like it's something that it's got some really good momentum. So great time. Awesome meeting everybody. I took random photos. So, it was just random. Like every third person I might take a photo. I didn't want to do a video like I did last year. You're going to see plenty of videos. There's going to be plenty of them. There were a lot of cameras there. I can't wait to watch them all and everybody's perspective. That was what was so fun last year, was the different perspectives and designs. This is just a takeaway. I know it's long-winded, but you know me, I don't shut up. But I just wanted to get on here and thank everybody. I got a picture of you. It doesn't mean I don't appreciate everything about you. It was just random shots. And of course, I had to get my random YouTube heroes, Ian. Man, what a pleasure to meet Ian. I'm so glad he finally made it. Oh my goodness, it's good to talk to him. I only talked to him for a minute. I said like 4 sentences or something, but I'm one of those that I don't want to hold him up. I just didn't want to interrupt him that much. I know he had 1 million people want to talk to him, just because he's finally here and we've all watched him for several years now. And, another great resource for information. Bob Benny, I had to get a picture with, which I've met him before, but I never got a picture with him. Richard Noel from France, not going to get to see him very often. Maybe we will. Hopefully he'll come back. If we will, maybe I'll get another picture with him. So I grabbed him up real quick. He's a funny guy. I missed Frederick Dunn. I didn't get a picture with Frederick, but I got to talk to him, and we got to tell each other how our careers went in the service. That was fun. And but I missed him last year altogether, and I finally got to nail him down, but didn't get a picture. I don't think I did. I don't know. We'll see. And of course, Cayman. I didn't get a picture with him last year, and I snatched him up and said, "No, you can't go. I know you're tired. You're about to fall out, but you're taking a picture with me." So, and a few others, of course. I got Kent Williams. He didn't speak this year, but he was there, and so many other folks, guys. ATN and Corey, got pictures with them, but then just the others were random, so please don't take any offense if I didn't mention your name. I'm sorry. So many people, though, so many people that we've met from before and that we now know now. So it was a blessing. It was a great time. It really was. So I hope I didn't bore you guys too bad with this. I really do. I just want to get this off out of my heart. I wanted it out of my heart to tell you that this is heartfelt. I just wanted to express this before I began to get into the work week and start getting chaotic, and just forget to tell you how much I appreciate it. I mean, you hear me say it at the end of the video, but I just want to tell you that here. Whether you were there or whether you weren't. But man, it was a pleasure meeting you guys that were there. And, and Earl. Earl, you something. Anyway, you guys have a very, very blessed week. Have a great new year. I got a video coming out soon that I shot on the way to HiveLife, and I'll be putting it out after this, not long after this. Once again, I appreciate everybody watching. Hope I didn't bore you. You guys have a wonderful week. May God bless you richly. We'll see y'all later.